Africa has often been described as the last frontier for growth. According to estimates by the United Nations, about 2.2 billion people will be added to the global population by the year 2050. And more than half of that growth will occur in the African continent. But are African governments ready for this challenge? This is among the key issues that was discussed and experts sought to answer in the 2017 Business for Africa Forum and the World that was held in Sharm El Sheikh in Egypt. Now in its second edition, the three-day forum, which was held on the 7th to 9th December, convened political leaders, captains of industry, as well as entrepreneurs drawn from across the African continent. Top on the agenda was fostering regional economic integration and achieving all-inclusive economic growth.
We've taken off. We took off slowly because the external environment was in a difficult place. Growth is now sort of renewing. Africa will be growing at 3.2%, 3.5%. It's not where we want to be. Before we got into the crisis, we were growing at 6.6, and that was not enough. So clearly 3.2 is not enough. So we need first to ensure that we can re-engender that growth. We need to ensure that the growth is inclusive, which means we need to bring everybody along. And I think this is a very important part of the Sustainable Development Goals. It says, and the ESG keeps talking about that, the Secretary General of the United Nations makes it his mantra to say we want to leave no one behind.
Most resource-dependent economies in Africa have suffered global shocks as a result of subdued commodity prices, and despite the uptick in global oil prices, these economies are still yet to fully recover. Thus, the need for economic diversification was stressed by thought leaders.
I think we've seen that we cannot go to sleep waiting on our natural resources. I think we've seen that we need to there's a lot more at play than oil. For a country like mine, Nigeria, I mean, the oil curse, I guess, has cost us a lot. And in reality, the government's investment in diversifying the economy is a major move forward in the right direction. The most interesting thing is there's a lot of inductive effect across the continent. Something great is happening in Kenya, you see Nigeria or Ghana. Something great is happening in Nigeria, you see South Africa, Ghana, other countries trying to do the same. So we need to do that because we see value in each other and help each other, and we must be able to trade across the continent.
China, which has become Africa's first trading partner, was not left out of the conversation. It has a total of about $66.4 billion in 293 FDI projects, which are well diversified across various sectors in Africa.
President Xi Jinping has a very different take of world affairs than his predecessors. He's more assertive, his policies are much more clear, and is devoid of any complex about China's role in shaping the future. This is very good news for Africa as well, because it means that we have to engage with China that is ready to compete with other superpowers. So I think if you take these elements in mind, what becomes interesting for us is to basically act with agency, demonstrate our capabilities of having a strategy towards China. And for the last few years, our strategy has been shaping up around the idea of industrialization and structural transformation of the economies. This is something that is a perfect match in terms of interests between the interests of Africa and the interests of China.
The general consensus was that Africa is on the move and the continent must leverage on its strengths, which include its large and youthful population, to ensure that Africa maintains its economic growth momentum.